Hi guys, it's Stephanie DAlessio, Director of Education for Conserve Wildlife Foundation of New Jersey. So today we're going to talk a little bit about our webcams. We're going to talk about the birds of prey that can be found on there. And we're also going to do a really cool hands-on activity that you can do at home with your family. So are you ready? Good. This is how we're going to start. So anybody who'd like to check out our webcams, please go to www.conservewildlifenj.org and click on one of our wonderful webcams. So we have three. The first one is our Osprey cam, and that's located down in Long Beach Island. Yesterday, the male Osprey came back, and hopefully he will meet up with his mate and have a very successful nesting season. The second cam that we have is the bald eagle cam with Duke Farms. So the Duke Farms eagle cam right now has two chicks that are growing. They're getting really big. You can observe the different food that the parents bring back to their young. And you can actually record that on a data sheet that we have that you can send to our biologist, Larissa Smith, and she'll add that into one of her eagle reports. The third cam that we have is the falcon cam. So the Union County Falcon Cam focuses on an endangered species of raptor or bird called the peregrine falcon. So the peregrine falcon is an endangered species in the state of New Jersey, and he kind of looks like this. So this is actually a peregrine falcon. So peregrine falcon is the fastest animal on the face of the earth. And I know the other day when I did my video, people were saying, no, it's a cheetah. And we already know that 200 miles per hour definitely makes him the fastest animal on the face of the earth. He has that really sharp beak. He also has these really sharp talons. Let me take a really good look at that. So these talons are used to hold his prey. And do you remember what he eats? So we talked about this the other day. So he only eats one thing. And it's kind of silly to some people because the peregrine falcon eats birds, only birds. So I'm holding up this duck because one of his favorite foods to eat is a duck. In fact, sometimes the peregrine falcon can be called the duck hawk. So that being said, can anybody come up with some other ways that a peregrine falcon or other raptors or birds of prey may use their talons? So if we put on our thinking caps, one would be pretty obvious because you can take a look over here and figure out one way would be to perch, to balance himself. So he would use his talons in order to help him to perch on a tree limb or another surface. Another thing that they would use their talons for are preening themselves. So if they can't reach it with their beak, he may use his talons to preen on his head because obviously his beak wouldn't reach there. What about carrying things? So when I look online, I see a lot of pictures of the osprey carrying nesting material back to his nest. Large sticks with his talons wrapped really tightly around the materials that he's bringing back to his nest in order to make his home really nice. Another thing they would use it for is a peregrine falcon would dig a scrape. So his nest would be in nature on the side of a cliff, and he would use his talons to dig a scrape inside of the gravel. What about an aggressive bird? Do you know that birds will use their talons as weapons? I mean, take a look. This is a pretty dangerous weapon, wouldn't you agree? So birds sometimes fight for territory or for a mate, and they will use their weapons, their talons, in order to fight with each other. The last thing I can think of that a bird of prey would use their talons for is to move their eggs. So when birds are incubating their eggs, they want to get heat distributed evenly. So they'll use their talons to kind of turn them around very gently. So talons are a really important adaptation for a bird of prey. Without it, his survivorship would not be very good. That being said, anybody who wants to do a really cool activity would now have to go and get a piece of paper. So I have a piece of paper over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to make our own talons. So everybody get out a piece of paper. This is just plain paper I took from my printer, and we're going to make our own talons. Are you ready? Here we go. So you're going to hold up your piece of paper and take this corner and fold it down. So this can be called origami or folding paper, form of art, and you can look that up online. Fold your paper down like this. and crease it. So now you have this. Take the corner or the top point of your paper and bring it down to the bottom and crease it again. So you've made 2 folds so far, one across and one down. Now we're going to take this corner, and I'll put all of this online. I'll put a link to this online. And you actually make a square. So now you have a square. Turn your paper and make, I think it kind of looks like a beak, right? But it's actually a triangle. It's a great way to teach primary grade students that shapes. You have a triangle. Okay, here's where it gets a little bit tricky, so I'm going to get up close with this. So now you have your triangle, right? So I want you to hold the triangle. It needs to be just like this. Take this piece down the center. Okay, down the center, so it's right in the middle. This line, this portion will go straight down. That's the hardest part of this. And it should be right in the center. So if you could see, it's right in. So I folded it like that. Okay, so now you have what's going to look like a talon. So you're going to fold once. You're going to fold a second time. And then you're going to have this little tab here that you could either tape, or I kind of tuck it in when I do it with the kids. So I take this little tab, so I folded it and folded it until I could fold it in there. And then you have your talon. This is sharp, guys. Do not poke in somebody's eye. Just giving you fair warning. So I have a talon. I actually made a bunch of talons. I actually put red fingernail polish on this just to have fun. So now I have my talons. So here's where the fun begins. Get your brother or sister, someone in your family that you live with. Are you as successful as a peregrine falcon when you're hunting? So a peregrine falcon is successful 1 out of every 5 times that he tries to catch his prey. So that being said, imagine going to McDonald's, right? And you go through the drive-thru and you go through once and they say, no, I'm sorry, we don't have your food. And then you go through a second time and the lady or the man says, no, I'm sorry, we still don't have your food. You have to go 5 times before you're actually able to get your meal. Well, the peregrine falcon has to try 5 times before he can successfully catch his prey once. So that being said, are you as successful in hunting as a peregrine falcon? So I think you should take all of your talents, take your brother, sister, someone who lives at home with you, and see if you can catch a bird 1 out of every 5 times. So that's 1. I'm going to try it a few more to see. That's 2. So I'd keep going and see if I am successful as a peregrine falcon. You can do ratios with this. You can do percentages of the amount of times that you successfully caught the bird, probability. These are all cool activities to do with your kids at home. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Stephanie DAlessio, Director of Education, Conserve Wildlife Foundation of New Jersey. See you soon.